What's up, nerds? Got a bunch of nerds here, dude. And you're dying.
That's what I have to say about that.
He is dying, chat. Welcome to Echoes in the Dark. I'm Bludborn. He's dying.
Nice to meet you. I'm dying. Nice to meet you. I'm rock hard.
Yes, yes. So I think we're going to talk about some itemization today. Bell help. Itemization. It's an important thing. We've played a lot of games over the years, and we've looted a lot of items. And there's some very iconic ones that maybe like a Thunder Fury.
Princess Dagger.
For me,
900 attempts.
900 attempts. Never got it.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, it just took you 900 times.
900 attempts.
Choo!
You could only do 5 an hour.
Oh
Like
God,
math.
that's a lot of time, my guy.
What about you? What item? I'm actually fucking tired. What item for you, brother bear?
The one that I can recall most vividly is the miniature brass anvil. So in Lotro you have a pocket item, be like your trinkets in WoW.
Paquita. Okay.
And the story is very sad.
Oh no.
So
oh, no.
This was during the Mines of Moria. There was an update after that. That was the Scourge of Lothlorien.
Okay.
And there were some new dungeons that came out with that. And one of them was the what was that? Halls of Crafting? Yeah, Halls of Crafting. And it was great because new 6-man dungeon, great. We go run it. Rare item, the miniature brass anvil. It was for melee DPS, maybe some ranged, but mainly it was melee DPS.
Hey, we don't care about ranged.
It drops.
Okay.
First run. We didn't even know it was rare at the time. But number one, it drops.
First run, he says.
First run. I happened to be in a pug. First run.
Oh.
And do you remember the song Ninja Raiders? I
don't know if I do. Do I?
It's
I'll look it up.
I don't even know the name of the Beyonce song, but basically if you like, you should have rolled need on it.
Oh no. Did you greet it?
Well, no. So we were doing roll, just regular roll pass. And so I rolled on it because it was a definite upgrade for me. And I get I don't know, 70 something roll on it. Good.
It's better than how I rolled on it.
Yeah. And then so somebody else rolls a 98 on it. It was a caster. It was a rune keeper.
Casters.
And this was before we had fellowship trading. Before you could say like, oh my bad, dude. Here you go. Trade shit.
Oh, he was just trying to be funny.
Yeah. Well, no. His response to me was, I saw blue and rolled. You didn't even look at the stats on it. So this guy wins it, has no way to trade it or anything. I don't see that item again for 6 months.
Okay. Did you eventually get it?
I did eventually get it.
Thank God. But 6 months.
It was a couple days before the next update come out, where it's basically
this
irrelevant.
goddamn dweeb. sat with it in his fucking inventory and didn't do a thing with it. He probably sold it. He vendored it.
Probably, you know.
Probably thought about you while he did it.
Yeah.
He said right click for the world to burn.
Yep. I don't know, dude. It's but items, it's I think a big part of why we do what we do. It's like the chase
100%.
of those super rares and stuff like that.
The chase, the grind. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun right now.
I can tell. Let's send this out real quick. All right, that should be good. So, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put itemization as important to you in a game?
I feel like I put it right behind combat.
Is combat number one?
If the combat is bad, why would you play the game? Two, like, I don't know. Maybe itemization is even more important because if something isn't worth the grind, why would you make the grind? So if you have items that you have to grind for,
yeah,
you know
why bother?
Like, why fucking bother? And there's so many different ways to make an item worthwhile. And like grindable, and there's like you know, you have your raid items, you have your PvP items, you have just like craftable items. There's so many different items in the game, so itemization goes so long.
Yeah, I feel like it touches like every aspect of the game.
Yeah, which is awesome too.
It's kind of crazy if you think about it, because it's like they have to make not only every variant of those, but it has to be relevant.
Yeah,
and I must say that real bad word, balanced. Like balance is something like, oh, you're gonna drop this crazy weapon in here that is so good, but it has like a 0.001% drop rate. Like, so if you got it,
make it that much sweeter.
It does. It does.
It makes it how many raids have you been in knowing that there's like you're fighting a boss that drops some crazy fucking weapon that isn't even for your class?
Oh,
when
yeah.
you see it drop, you're still just like, oh shit.
Yeah, there used to be in the very early days of Lord of the Rings, there was a lot of really good chase items. There was a dungeon that was Barad Gularan.
Okay.
And there was actually a lot of like good items. There's the Bane of Forvengwath, which was pretty sweet. Now I gotta pull these up because I gotta stroll down memory lane here.
Someone's gotta.
Where we got?
I do apologize for being under the weather, team.
Unalive.
I can't stop coughing. It's super annoying.
Yeah, and see, okay, this actually brings up another thing while I'm looking at this, is items that have like really awesome flavor text to them. Like, I know you appreciate it just because of magic. Like,
buddy,
flavor text is everything, you know. It's
hilarious.
And like just really cool titles of weapons. So like I'm just looking at a couple of the ones that come off of one of the bosses, and this is from 2007.
Okay.
So Rogmul's Edge, Rogmul's Disdain.
Okay.
Where's the one that I need though?
Who's Rogmul, by the way?
A Rogmul is like a lesser Balrog almost. They're like a kind of a mix between what do I say? Like the top portion is physical, where they look like a Balrog. They're smaller though, and then the lower portion is more like ethereal. It's like a shade almost. So they do like shadow and flame and all that kind of stuff. Where is it? There's here's a good one. So like there's a hammer and it's called Hopebringer, but the text on it says the strength of the Hopebringer renews the spirit of the wielder despite the shadows which prey upon the heart. Like this cool like story stuff in there. So like I hope we get that kind of stuff in this game where there's, you know, you get that awesome piece and it's like, yeah, it's great in its own right because of the stats and the upgrades and all that good stuff, but it's got that extra little that flavor text on there.
But yeah, I like when the weapon ties into the lore.
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
Or the item. It doesn't necessarily have to be a weapon. Like there's been fishing rods that I've got in the past that have.
Everybody loves a good rod, right?
We got. We love a good rod.
A rod. Yeah, like here's a good one. It's called Far. This is a staff for lore masters. It's called Far Wanderer. This staff was carried by Blanco Fallowhide as he and his brother crossed the Brandywine River into the land now known as the Shire. It was crafted from wood grown east of the Misty Mountains.
Okay.
So like I got a little history lesson out of this thing, you know. So I think that stuff, like, that's the stuff that doesn't even matter, but it matters.
Yeah.
Because like I want to have something that has a story to it. And I think one thing that's kind of lost in games now is like you get these really cool things, but they don't have any meat to them.
No, dude, I haven't found an item or looted an item or raided and received an item that meant anything to me other than the stats, and I couldn't tell you how long.
Right.
Like the coolest thing that I could think of as of right now is Diablo 4's Butcher's Cleaver. That's the only thing. Yeah. And it sucks. It's not even that cool. It fears enemies. I'm alright with that. On top of Lucky Hit, it's a whole thing. Like, it's fine. But for a unique, it's pretty mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the only item in the game as of right now that I can think, wow, I know what the Butcher is. And, this particular big boss dropped an item with his name in it and what it represents. And I don't know. I like it a little bit. Try not to cough right now.
Just a little bit of flavor.
I'm going to have a 6-pack after this because I've been flexing so hard trying not to cough left and right.
So what about swapping items like in combat and stuff? How you feel about that?
I've always been all right with it.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes like kind of a level of skill to know when to swap to things as well.
Yeah.
Now, let me try and think. So for example, in Diablo 4, here, I'll give you this. And I know Diablo 4 isn't great. It's okay though. I'm just thinking of the most recent time I would have swapped a weapon, and it was when I'm fighting Uber Lilith. Phase 1, I'm going to do as much damage as possible. So you're using, in my case, I was using 2 particular one-hander weapons.
Yep.
Actually, it's really funny that I mentioned the Butcher's Cleaver. So, first phase, you kill her as fast as you can. With Berserk Ripping, usually makes that about a 3 or 4 second journey.
Oh, the ripping and the tearing, huh?
The ripping and the tearing, buddy. The wild women. She dies. She comes back to life. And for you to be able to skip the blood boil phase You want to be able to stagger her as fast as possible. So what happens is when she dies, boop, you take off your like one of your two one-handers and you swap on a butcher's cleaver, because the butcher's cleaver, it has so much like crowd control to it, and you can't really crowd control a boss.
Right.
So when you crowd control a boss, it makes their stagger bar fill up, and when their stagger bar fills all the way up, they get kind of like subdued for like, I think it's like 7 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds, where they're kind of like knocked down and you just kind of beat the shit out of them for a second. So you kill Lilith real quick, and as she's going from phase 1 to phase 2, you swap over your weapons, so that way you swap to weapons that stagger bosses faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that's really like the only time. It's just things where it's like you can utilize weapon effects better.
Right.
And I like that.
Okay.
And I mean, this weapon doesn't have too much of a purpose, but its one purpose is to stagger a boss. So okay, cool. If there's multiple phases in this, in this boss fight, this phase I want to do as much damage as possible. I'm going to equip these weapons, maybe equip these gloves, these pants, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden this phase, I need to stagger, I need to knock this girl out and then beat the shit out of her. Okay, cool. I'm gonna equip Butcher's Cleaver to apply like a fear and a confusion to her. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
whatever the case may be. But it different. I like being able to have different items for different times.
Okay. So I think the thing I've run into in the past, because I've played a bunch of different games that allow it, then don't allow it, then also are built with it in mind. So like New World, for example, was built for it. Originally when it came out, you had 3 active weapons.
What does 3 active weapons mean? What's that mean?
So you had well, we'll make it simple because they did tone it down to 2. And so in the case of my character, when I was playing, I had a great axe and I had and sword and board. And so you had 3 active abilities. So if I'm using reap with the great axe, which is like you just kind of throw it out in front of you, and if it hits the target, it'll actually pull to it, and then you do like a whirlwind. And so now these skills are on cooldown. Well, then you swap to your sword and board to do those 3 active abilities. And that's a very primitive explanation of how it worked, but you would swap it because you only had 6 active abilities outside of left clicking. It was a simple attack. Holding your left click was like a charged attack, and then like right clicking was your block and all that stuff. So it was designed with weapon swapping in mind. So Lotro, on the other hand, has allowed it for a long time, and now that is actually something they got rid of. They don't allow it anymore, and part of the reason why is we were actually swapping legendary items, or specifically weapon swapping, but you couldn't swap armor in combat. And if you logically think about it, it's like, I'm not going to take off my
that makes
plate
sense.
armor and throw it on the ground, put this thing on, and then swap. Like, it didn't make sense. Weapons,
that was in vanilla WoW as well.
Yeah,
you could swap weapons, you can swap armor.
Yeah, like weapons, it does make more sense. It's like, oh, like I'm gonna use a bow and arrow, and then you're up close, so I'm gonna use a dagger. Like it makes sense. But what was happening is the legendary items in that game just have like multipliers and tons of percentages and all this stuff. So every time you would swap them, it didn't just readjust a couple stats, it readjusts every single skill that you have, and the damage that they do and all that stuff. So they actually got rid of it. So like I think with weapons and stuff like that, as long as the game is designed with it in mind, it's cool. But like if it's something that people do to like, I don't know, like I guess that's kind of where I land with it, is if like if it's designed for it, I'm down.
I feel that. So like I think in my mind, like you said, you know, you're mid combat, no one's swapping fucking pants.
Wow, not with that attitude.
I mean, listen. You know, maybe like a ring or two or a necklace, but like no one's swapping a full chest armor without getting slapped in the face by a dragon wing. Yeah. But you know, I'm thinking as a mage, you know, I've got my staff, my two-handed staff.
Yeah.
And it makes me do the Lord's work, and I'm fucking, my stats are out of this world. All of a sudden I run out of mana, but I have this dagger.
Yeah.
Hilted to my side, you know, a little one-hander. Yep. Maybe I can slap my staff on my back.
Yeah.
Pull out my dagger. And next thing I know, it's making me gain a bunch of mana. every cool, this is fun. Every enemy
it's your inner Steven right now.
Yeah. Oh, our Lord and Savior, I'm coughing for you. You know, I yoink out my dagger, and I do an area of effect attack, and every enemy I hit, I get 100 mana back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I swap over. I do a weaker spell. You know, it's not hitting them as hard, but it's getting my mana back. I sheath my blade because it has spilt blood. And then I whip out my fucking two-handed staff. And I slap people in the face with my spells. Oh, it'd be perfect. I'm telling you.
Yeah, see, I can get behind that. I can dig that. You can
get behind that, right?
Yeah, I can dig that.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can land with weapon swapping's all right, as long as it's designed for it. Yeah. Here's a good one for you.
Let me hear it.
Binding. Bound to character, bound to account.
Okay.
How do we feel about binding?
I feel like there are items that need to be bound.
Yeah.
And there are items that do not need to be bound.
So like that ultra rare. So in that circumstance which I told you about, where the dude rolled on it, shouldn't have, but didn't also have an opportunity to correct said mistake. Yeah. Do you think that like in a group scenario, in a dungeon or a raid, if something badass drops and some asshat gets it that doesn't need it or can even use it, do they have the option to trade it? I'm down for bind on equip.
I think you have the 2-hour limit in the raid group.
Yeah.
Where it was looted, somebody said, "Oh shit, my bad. I literally can't even wear this item."
Right.
That's fucking stupid. Like if somebody accidentally gets it.
Yeah.
Now, should there see, that's where it's like, should there be master looters and all that kind of shit? And you know, yeah. But at the same time, could you have master looters go corrupt and just start yoinking everyone's fucking items? Of course, that shit happens also. So it's like, I think, you know, if it was a genuine mistake, I think it could be easily resolved without having to involve a admin or anything like that, or just straight up not being allowed to. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's perfectly fair. Now, you equip that item, you're wearing it for a week, you look fucking sick, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "Dang, dude, I got this item." Like, I don't think you should be able to take it off and like give it to them.
What about your own characters? So you get that dope ass item, and it's bind on equip.
Okay.
Is it bound to the character or bound to account?
So bind on account versus I don't know. I guess it depends on like what it is. I'm trying to think of like some examples. So maybe in Ashes they come up with some like some crazy pickaxe that a miner at a particular level could put together that only mines certain things. That character being at, I don't know how anything in this shit works, like level wise. So like say it's like level 300 mining, you're able to build this mithril fucking pickaxe that does shit faster and you get better loot, blah blah blah. Yeah. I don't think you should be able to be like, okay, cool, I'll put this in my shared stash and get on my fucking level 1 character. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think? Talk to me about what you think.
I'm a little torn just because of my experiences in different games.
Okay.
So I feel like because the character is mine.
Okay.
Like I'm a big fan of bound to account stuff.
I also want you to guess why I don't have a crazy big opinion on this.
Because you don't play alts.
Because I don't play alts. That's spot on.
So,
that's bind to account. You mean I only have one character?
All right.
So I'm already bound.
So I mean, Ash is maybe a totally different scenario anyway for for both of us. You don't know. You might decide you want to play something else. I
might only play alts.
Yeah, you don't know. I might only play. I do only want to play one character.
Every game in the history of every game that I've ever played, I only want to play one character.
Yeah, I do feel like I miss out. And what happened for me in Lord of the Rings was I was at 50 and I had a lot of my raid gear and I was literally just doing the raid and then going out and doing PvP. And a friend would start playing. I'm like, oh, I'll roll a character with you. And then we'd play all the way up to 50. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then Allie started playing. So I was like, shit, okay. Well, I'm going to roll another character. And all of a sudden I've got every class at 50. And it's like, all right, cool. Then I felt that I had to maintain them all, which was awful. And that's why I've reverted back almost. I'm pretty much 90% just my champion at this point. Okay. Like I do play my other classes a very little bit. So
yeah, man. There's very few games that I've ever made a character and then like got that character where I wanted it to be and then started a new character. I feel like I always had work to do on my main character.
Yeah.
Always and forever.
Yeah. I feel like that's where I'm at now is like I focus on the champ.
Okay.
And then like right now there truly that there is always something to do because I just got rank 9 in PvP. It goes to 15 and it's a lot. It's a lot to get there.
I'm familiar.
I know you're familiar. Like let me see what this is again, because rank 9 where I'm at is 258,000 renown. Rank 15 is 3.7 million.
How do you earn renown again? Will you explain that to me?
So it is based on kills, and the amount of renown you get for a kill depends on how long that enemy has been alive, essentially. So if you keep killing the same thing over and over real quick, the renown goes down to practically nothing.
The old diminishing returns.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There are quests that you can do that give you a certain amount. So like if there's nothing going on in the PvP area, you can still go do quests and get it. So you get like, I think you can get like 1,000 renown a day out of the dailies.
Okay.
But 3.7 million out of doing 1,000 a day is.
Yeah, you only have to do that for 3,000.
Yeah, like
750 days. Wait, no, 37,500 days.
Yeah, like it's just not gonna do it. So.
I don't fucking know. 325,000 days.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's kind of why I want to only play one class, but then it's just like I think that's what kind of crazy with Ashes to me is the fact that there's 64 classes. Now, granted, there's really 8. But
I held up the quotes for that one.
Right.
It's like 64 classes.
Yeah, I mean, so realistically, there's 8, and
I cannot fathom a fucking world where I play an alt in Ashes of Creation, bro.
Oh.
I cannot imagine with the amount of information we have with. Like, there's just so much.
Well, I think the hard thing,
how long it's going to take you to level.
Yeah, I mean, the hard
PvP.
thing for me is I haven't seen what I think I'm going to want to play yet.
Oh, very true.
I haven't seen the fighter yet.
I've seen a little bit of the mage. I haven't seen the character I actually want to play yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any subclass that I'm like, oh, fucking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about fishing. Where's Sprocket at? I haven't seen anything about. I don't even know. Dude, just so much shit, dude. It's bonkers. That's why I'm so. I'm just so fucking excited. It's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be sick, huh?
It's gonna be me, dude. Hold on. All right, we're back. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, dude, I got the itis. I don't know what's happening. This might be my last video. Remember me. No. I'm just kidding.
Got those tickets and instantly died.
Oh, dude, I'd fucking freak out. My corpse would haunt you guys. My corpse, my poltergeist. I don't know. Itemization, though. Hold on. Something I'm really excited to see is how they do it with, like professions.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I could just stop right there. Just professions. What are these items gonna do? What, like, at how do we get them? How do we level them up? How do we, you know what I mean? Like, what? How many professions are there going to be? Which professions complement other professions?
Mm-hmm.
And what items can I build in one profession that complement other items that I can build in other professions? You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, the possibilities are endless. I mean, I'm so excited about it. It's like, okay, cool. I'm running around in World of Warcraft. I got my little pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
So I can start mining all my nodes. So then I can turn the nodes that I mine and I smelt them into ore that I can then use while being an engineer or a blacksmith. So that's where it's like, and then it splits off. It's like, okay, what are you gonna pick? You know, like obviously engineering because I'm a fucking gamer, but still, what could I make at what path? I'm just so excited to see what they do with this game. It's like, okay, cool. Am I gonna be able to, like, what are certain professions going to be able to use? Am I a leather worker that's able to build a satchel that holds 40 items while a tailor is only able to make something that holds 30 items? Or is, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
The possibilities are endless, bro, dude. Are you able to imbue certain things with certain abilities to make them more stronger?
Well, yeah, I mean,
couldn't imagine trying to build a fucking MMO. Are you kidding me?
Oh, God,
my brain
no.
explodes after 5 minutes, and then I take 4 tequila shots, and then it goes even wild.
So, I mean, we do know they are going to be doing like enchanting. So I like that brings up another whole thing is like, are you going to have items? So like those best in slot type of things.
Absolutely.
Okay. Super rare drop.
Okay. From what? Super rare drop from what?
We'll say a raid.
Oh, tragic.
Why?
Because what if I don't raid in Ashes? What if I only want to be somebody that is going to be making money? What if I only want to be?
Because I will call you and say, hey, I need the best wizard lizard on this game.
Yeah, and of course I'll show up. I'll say, baby, say less. I'll be right there, but still.
And then you get a super rare drop, and then you're fucking pumped.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. All right, continue.
Do we get to modify that, or is it what it is?
Ooh, explain that more. Okay, so you get a rare drop. What is rare drop saying? Like, what is the item? Give me an example. I need an example.
Okay, so we're gonna get, in this case, we'll still go with a trinket pocket item type of thing. So not a weapon, not an armor piece, but you know, it's a stat piece.
Okay.
Okay. How do I want to say this? Because like with enchanting, obviously, like and gemming in other games, you know, you can change things up. You can tweak it a little bit.
Give it the good tweak.
Yeah. So if you get this,
give it the old tweak.
So if you get this super rare item, it is what it is, or do we get to modify it?
Depending on the route you take with all of your different profession options and your class and your, I see what you mean. So say a trinket drops and it is giving you, you grab it as a tank, and it gives you plus 50 stamina.
Right.
With the option to imbue it one of 5 different routes depending on what your profession is, whether it was blacksmithing, leatherworking, mining, enchanting, tailoring, you know what I mean? Okay, cool. And each one of those offered one option. 50 stamina was its core, right? That doesn't change. But you had the option to change up the trinket depending on what path you took. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah. So I mean, really, just like, do you think it's a yes or a no? And it sounds like it's a yes for you.
I'd be very into that.
Yeah.
Because I think like different like so many different options.
I think it's a good way to like incorporate other people too. It's like, hey, I'm not a blacksmith, but I want that perk. And so like, you know how you do it in WoW, like you open up the trade window and you can enchant and then.
Oh, so you want to be able to not necessarily have to be that profession, but you can get somebody to imbue your items with that perk.
Yes.
If you will. Okay.
Yeah. So like I'm definitely down for that.
Well, that would be more meta gameplay.
Oh yeah, I'm
with you not having to go a particular way.
Yeah,
I guess I could be into that as well.
Because I think like what I would want to avoid is having to like, you know, FOMO. Like I don't want to have to level every single profession. Like I want to,
and I won't.
Much like my character, I was like, I want to play this character, and he's gonna be the best fucking blacksmith in the game. Because that's all. That's because that's all I'm focusing on. And then like I don't want to have to worry about logging or, you know, whatever. And that was something you had to do in New World, is like you pretty much needed to work on every profession, and you could max out every single profession. And I mean that brings up a whole other thing with items, is there were trophies that you could put in your house that gave you specific effects in the world. There's like items, or it's just crazy what people have come up with for items and what they can do and how they're implemented in the game. It's insane. What was there? I had something else in here. Ooh, I actually like this one. So much in line with what we're talking about with crafting is repair, so durability. So I've read that in Ashes you're going to be able to, like, players will be able to repair other stuff too. So like damage gear, like it says right here on the wiki, is that wiki damage gear can be reforged at a player stall using a portion of the materials that were necessary to craft the item. So I'm curious if I would be able to, like, have, you're a blacksmith and my sword's fucking broken. Can I go to you and pay you to fix that
sword, bruh?
Because I think that's a level of player economy that really hasn't been done a whole lot. And I think
it's always been handled by NPCs, right?
Right. And it's like you only need NPCs really to curate the story, I feel like.
Give me the quest, bruh.
Yeah, give me the quests, give me the loot.
Now, I think in a main hub, you're gonna have an NPC that is going to be able to handle those things. But like in a side area, like our taverns, our tell me, what are the little encampments called? Encampments?
Sure.
Like, okay, where I have my house, Blood has his house.
Bell the freeholds.
The freeholds, thank God.
Yeah.
That's where it's like player driven, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, I'm the blacksmith. You came here, like, yeah, no, I'll fix your shit for a fee. Oh, while I'm fixing your equipment, why don't you run in and see Trainsworth at the inn, at the tavern inn, and
get a little RP going.
He'll be able to fix you up that hot drink, dude. I know there's a lot of spiders around here. He's gonna serve you up with that good spider potion. It's gonna make you immune to poison and get more XP off these spiders. And he's gonna tell you a good tale. Probably about girls. You know what I mean? There's so many options.
I think that's I think that is going to be a very important part of the economy, and I really hope that that's the route they go with it.
I couldn't agree more.
I think
that being said, I think with our freeholds, I think the freehold is going to be probably one of my favorite parts of this game. I'm really hoping it is.
Yeah, I've never been much of a housing person, but I think this is a different take on it that I'm intrigued on.
I feel that. I'm not trying to play The Sims.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I am trying to how do I word this?
I mean, you're trying to be a part of the world, though.
I'm trying to be a part of the world. I'm not trying to play The Sims. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I like that. I think even though we talked about it, we did all the stuff with the freeholds, like I still I don't know, because like there's so much of the game that we haven't seen or touched yet, where it's like we see these little segments and we see ourselves playing that piece, or like, you know, okay, let's work on our freehold, or, you know, let's go do this thing, and everything's in the damn Riverlands so far.
The Riverlands.
So yeah,
they really do be.
Which I know we talked about that last time too. I think it's pretty dope that we've only seen really the Riverlands.
I kind of don't want to see anything else until the game comes out.
I know, because I mean they can change the weather in it, right? They can change the weather in it to make it snow or whatever. So we don't really need to see like the northern, like the snow areas, because that it is what it is. So I don't know. But
I'm so excited, dude.
we're kind of looking through some of the other stuff on here, and
what are you thinking?
So there is one part of itemization that's that you and I have talked about a long time ago, and that was actually appearance. Mainly because when you had that badass piece of armor, you wanted to flaunt it. But
you're talking transmogs right now.
Yeah. So do you want that?
Nah.
You want the raw gear?
I do not. Cool. I don't like transmogs.
No.
I like transmogs because I want people to be stoked on how they look.
Sure.
But I don't like transmogs for a number of different reasons. One being, I want to be able to know what kind of player a person is by looking at their gear and not even have to inspect them or anything.
Yeah, you can roll up and say like you see that sword on his back and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I want to know that dude fucks.
Yeah, you just want to see that. You want that reaction.
Yeah, and he's gonna put it on his fucking table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want people to be like, damn, that's super cool. How did you get that? I want to get that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't want to see 200 people walking around a city, a big city, looking the exact same because it looks cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want people to be able to go farm up some gear and shit. Like back in vanilla, damn, I don't remember the gear set you could do, but as a warrior, you could do a particular gear set, and then you could take a winter hold. I don't remember what it is, a fire potion or something. It would make you bigger, and people that had that gear, which was very few people had this particular gear set. And then they would take that potion. It would make you big as fuck, and you would look super cool. And people would be like, "Wow, dude, where the fuck did you get that? How did you get that? You're a god. Tell me everything." And now it's like you go around, and everyone looks the exact same. Everyone's rocking Thunder Fury. I'm not a big transmog guy.
But
also,
we do know that this game is going to be very heavy into the cosmetics.
Which I love. I love the cosmetic piece.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. I want to be able to, and even if some of it is like, you have the option to buy this, cool. Support the artists.
Yeah.
You know, they came up with this, they created this. Let's support them. That sounds badass. But I also, like Steven said, I don't think that all the coolest gear is going to be able to be just like purchased.
Right.
I think you're going to be able to. I think you're gonna be able to earn a lot of cool gear. I think you'll be able to buy a lot of cool gear, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Perfectly
well,
fine with that.
And I think it was talked about a lot too, where there's going to be like the color variations. You know, like okay, so the black and gold one is the one that comes from the raid, for example. And the blue the blue and the silver is the crafted one. So you might see a lot of people running around with the blue and silver, but you see that black and gold, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like that dude went in there and went hard on name a raid boss. You know what I mean? And you'll know right there. It's like cool. And also being able to see, like, say somebody is in that blue and silver that didn't do the raid, that you can know immediately, damn, that dude went fucking hard on blacksmithing. They're a max level of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they know everything. I'm gonna ask them questions about how they earned, got up to that level.
Yeah, like different levels of distinction.
Yeah. Just because you earned it in a raid doesn't mean earning it via crafting wasn't equally as cool, which is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, the grind was real, or like even a PvP version. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's many options that people could do with that. Damn, I had something to say, but I forgot.
Womp.
These things happen.
I did see that this was kind of a different piece on itemization. Is attachments. So attachments are able to be unlocked as flare pieces to armor to create a customizable look. There will be hundreds of attachments available, ranging from a small clasp to the front plate of a breastplate.
I like that.
I'm sorry. Ranging from a small clasp all the way to a front plate of a breastplate. So like you'll be able to change those things out.
Diablo 4, like I said, not trying to give them all the credit in the world. They do something a little similar with trophies on the horse, to where it's like you kill a particular, like how many times have I killed the butcher? He always has a chance to drop something called I don't remember the trophy name, but the butcher's something, and it's something that you can equip to your horse. So when you're riding around, it's just like a cool little looking trophy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm down for that kind of stuff too. Like,
love that kind of shit.
Yeah. Just like that, the extra stuff.
It makes me want to go kill, like, say there's a low level mob in the middle of the world, like a rare spawn, and you have a low chance to kill it and loot some cool little, like a cape or like a fucking trophy or something, like anything that you could equip that it doesn't do anything, but it looks cool and it's rare to find. You know what I mean? It gives you a reason to want to go find those low level rare mobs, or even if it's off of a equal level or higher level, you know what I mean? Like it makes you want to go find that shit and just gives you a reason to want to farm it. It's fun.
There is
and it's that rewarding when it's like a grind where you're like, dang, I've killed this thing 300 times. Boom, finally appeared. You're like, you fucking Cloud Strife is na 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 in your head. You just feel great. It's just fun, man.
Well, yeah, and then like there's something that New World did that was, I think they've backed off of it since they brought it out, but it goes back to crafting. And so say you're gonna make an axe, and
my axe,
the axe's main stats are stamina and strength and I don't know, maybe like critical. Awesome. Great stats for a DPS.
I'll take it.
But you get secondary stats where like maybe you have a skill that is you're okay. You remember how they did the thing with the augments where it's like, okay, you're a fighter, but your second one is a mage, so you can get like the blink, like you'll blink, but you'll finish with a melee, something like that.
Blink punch.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that'd be hot.
So the thing about this is you would use different crafting materials. Like if you're going to make the axe, it's always going to require you to have 5 iron ingots and 1 piece of wood for the handle.
The handle.
Right. Yeah. But if you use this, and that's always going to give you an axe that has the baseline stats of strength, stam, and crit.
Okay.
But if you use this optional ingredient, you can make it so that your blink is further. If you use this other one, it makes it so that your attack at the end of your blink applies a bleed. If you
so like a blink mushroom and a power mushroom.
There you go. But like that's something that New World did that was actually really cool, but it actually became very overwhelming really quick because they had so many secondary skill attributes that it was like the loot table for those extra crafting items became ridiculous, and it shot the prices of those things up so high on the marketplace because like everybody wanted crit. So you couldn't find it. Dude. Yeah, you couldn't find it.
The most important.
Or
and it was so expensive when you did.
Yeah. So that's something that I liked. But there's definitely a balance to it. And then partially that was messed up because the economy in that game got screwed up from item duping and all that stuff. So that's a whole separate.
Yeah, that'll do it real quick.
Yeah,
Oh, I found the best item ever. What if it happens if I just dupe it 200 times?
Oh, it's not even that. People were just duping materials and just they were hitting gold cap, and so they just literally buy whatever.
Jesus.
So, yeah, but I think that's kind of crazy with how much. Even down to trash items, dude, literally have no value other than just selling to a vendor for coin.
I mean, that's a very, very like a bot kind of situation where, you get a bot and you make them go into an area where they will kill and loot grays for gold, and that's it. That's all they do. And those grays they might sell for cheap, but they still sell, you know what I mean, to a vendor. Yep. Next thing you know, you go to sleep, you wake up, you had 100 more gold than you did when you went to sleep. And
yeah, and it's like I almost think that like the trash items, it's like I mean it should be so inconsequential as far as value goes. You're just dying.
It's been like the past like 5 days. I can't stop coughing, bro. It's so annoying.
Better get rid of that shit.
Oh, I will. I got a month.
Burn it out with some tequila. I've
Say
been
less,
trying.
Dang. Maybe that's the issue. I gotta stop drinking tequila for a minute.
Maybe.
It's a lot of fun. It feels great.
Feels
a lot of fun to try
great.
and sleep.
Oh, I bet. Well, I think that's a pretty good amount of item talk.
Yeah.
That's
I'm sure we could go further, but it'd probably get repetitive, just changing exactly what the item is, whether it's while you're riding a mount or while you're, on your ship or on your house, like kind of all the same things, but items in general, man. Items are important. Very important.
Yeah.
Combat and items, man. Everything else just can be changed.
Yeah. If those things don't work, it don't work.
If you don't feel rewarded when you get an item, this is going to be my last piece. When you get an item and you don't feel like you earned it, I think that's when the itemization failed.
Yeah.
Like
I will say, honestly, that's what turns me off to games like Diablo.
Interesting.
Because you're running around, you'd been playing for like an hour and you're like, oh, I got 4 legendaries already. I was like, what the fuck?
I agree with you. That's why Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 are dog shit. Diablo 2 was good.
I mean,
because you would play Diablo 2 for 1,000 hours and you would have never seen a Tyrael's might.
Well, and that's my point, is like, I don't think you should be getting legendary shit until you're at least capped. Like, I don't think there shouldn't be like, this is my thoughts on this.
Okay.
I don't think if the level cap is 50, we'll say.
Okay. We'll say 50.
Okay. I don't think I should be running around and I've found a level 20 legendary like that.
Okay.
I don't think that makes a damn bit of sense.
Okay.
You can find rares, sure.
Okay.
But legendary, fuck no. Like, that should be like, that's end of the road, kind of like, I've hit the peak of this part of the experience here.
Okay.
I need that thing to kick it up to the next. I need to ratchet it up. And that's where I start chasing items, and that's where legendary rarity comes in.
Now, this is where I don't necessarily disagree, but I have a different opinion.
Yeah.
So, for example, those 900 runs I did that you could only do 5 an hour for?
Yeah.
That was for an item that was in the 40s when I was level 60. That item at level 40 was still relevant and would do something for me in particular raids.
Okay.
And I think that is where itemization is really, 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 really cool. Where you
find a strong point.
A rare item that has a very niche purpose.
Yeah.
That you find at level 1 to 60. Okay, I'm not saying level, like you find a level 5 item you're gonna use at 60, but maybe you do. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a fucking crazy low drop rate off a spider in this forest that you found. You killed 800,000 spiders and you've got nothing but spider legs and spider sacks for 2,000 hours, and all of a sudden you find the legendary spider eye and it allows you to, I don't know, it fucking does something cool. But for example, like that princess dagger, which name I can't remember right now, which I'm really bummed about. It wasn't a dagger that would do like a lot of damage. It was a dagger where when you're doing when you like as a mage AoE, I would AoE something, say I hit 8 enemies. If I had that dagger equipped, I had the chance to get 100 mana back per enemy that I hit.
Blade of Eternal Darkness.
Thank you. Blade of Eternal Darkness. And Blade of Eternal Darkness let me do SM runs. It let me do Morrow runs. It let me be relevant in particular fights when we were speed running AQ40. It just let me in Nax. I would run through, I would still be doing damage, but I would also be gaining mana. So the second we stop doing like say we have a tunnel event where things are spawning until we get to the end of the tunnel, it's like, okay, if I'm casting spells that whole time, I'm using a bunch of mana. But by the time I start, if I have Blade of Eternal Darkness equipped from the beginning to the end, I'm basically going to end full mana. And this is also where we talk about swapping weapons mid-fight, right?
Yeah.
I'm able to swap my Blade of Eternal Darkness to my actual main weapon that's going to have good stats, good damage modifiers on it for my single target fight. And I'll have full mana because I put in the work and I ran fucking Princess 900 times and I got that dagger. That wasn't a level 60 dagger. It's a level 40 something dagger, but I'm level 60. You know what I mean? Like, all this shit becomes relevant where it's like, okay, do I think you should be finding 100,000 legendaries?
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's not fun. Like, even right now in Diablo, the uniques are so bad that you know why I get excited when a unique drops, Brian?
That's money.
Because they're worth more fucking gold.
Right.
That's it. 100%. I can sell it for 290,000 rather than 40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dog shit, but it lets me get more gold. That's exactly it. So it's like itemization is so important because, like, you should feel that fucking, what is it when you like blow a load or like something goes in your brain? I don't know. What happens
Dopamine,
when you get,
euphoria.
Dopamine goes wild. yeah. You should feel that when an item drops, right? You should be like, oh fuck, holy shit, here it is, dude. You should be so excited.
So like, so there was a clip, I think I still have it from years ago, and it was when K-Magic, King Gathalion, Professor Broman, Darkness, they were doing the Speakeasy podcast years ago, and Goth said something that was so just like on point, and it was really targeted towards Destiny, but it should apply to any game that has
a
weapon
drop table
rarity, specifically rarity. And it was you know, basically, let me see if I still have it, because it was so on point that I'm gonna find it. Let's see. But you know, it's just talking about how like blues.
While you do that, I'm gonna pull up something as well.
Yeah, blues should last you longer. Like, it should be, we'll say like that's 90% of your itemization is just blues, you know, like, and which is actually categorized. Is that rare? Yeah, blues are rare.
Yeah. White or gray is usually common. Green is
uncommon.
Well, usually, yeah, uncommon. Blues rare. Well, blues usually like, I don't know. Yellow's usually rare. I don't know. Whatever.
So in WoW, it's gray is poor, white is common, green is uncommon, blue is rare, purple is epic, orange is legendary, yellow is artifact, and then there's the heirloom stuff, which is that weird blue color.
Okay.
But basically his thing on it was saying like blues should last you longer, like they're rares, like this is a rare item, that should hold more weight. And then getting an epic should be like, oh shit, this is dope, this is awesome. And then if you get a fucking legendary, it should be fucking legendary. Like, it should be S tier. It should be amazing. There should be no question that this thing is a best in slot almost. Like, because best in slot is weird because that it can be objective and it can be subjective. So that one's kind of a weird topic, but legendary should just be like 9 times out of 10, like if you have that, that is slotted, you know.
Now I just sent you something in a DM.
Oh,
And this is a perfect example. It is something that I had on my brain hole while I was going on my rant about the Blade of Eternal Darkness.
okay.
Click on that and tell me if you see the Gold Dagger in Diablo 2.
Yeah, very top one, the normal.
Very top one. You can get that level 1.
Okay.
Does that look like it adds anything? Adds 1 to 15 damage.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know what the scaling on that damage is.
That's literal dog shit. That's like slapping something with a actual stick versus like a piece of wheat. I don't like it's
What
the stick's gonna do 15 damage.
you
and the
just
wheat
want
is
it
gonna
for
do
the better chance of getting magic items?
So that 100% better chance of getting magic items is not only relevant at level 1, it's relevant at level fucking 99.
Okay.
It makes your character 0% stronger, but it gives you the opportunity to find better items. I think that is a perfect example of something that is like itemized perfectly, no matter what the level is.
Yeah.
There are barbarians at level 99. They call them shout barbs. It's where you yell at your dead enemies to give up their items. It's actually fucking hilarious. They have a way to, like, say you kill a level 99 fucking monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a shout, so you loot your item, you loot the corpse, and then you do a shout, and it basically like loots it again. So they call it like, you're shouting at the body to give you more gears. But if you're holding those daggers, you can have one in each hand because they're daggers. You have 200% better chance, just like right there. It's like you're not stabbing anything, you're not hitting anything. All you're doing is just like looking for items. And the fact that you're just holding on to this little item makes you have that much higher of a chance. I think that's so fucking cool.
I can dig
they
that.
Nailed that.
Yeah, so I can dig that. Like a secondary attribute that's kind of sick.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to make your character like physically stronger, but maybe do something differently. Like Blade of Eternal Darkness didn't make me stronger. I didn't hit harder.
Yeah.
I think I hit infinitely weaker. But I could still hit and gain mana. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I think that's cool. Like you can have a gray that, or like an uncommon or something like that. I mean, you see that in Magic. There'll be cards that have. It's not a great card, but when you use it in a certain way, it's like it's fucking great.
That's true. I have a card that costs me $0.25 that wins me games. You would only use it in one situation ever in a million years.
When that pops up,
one time, true, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Card itemization. Oh, we could talk about Magic for hours.
Yeah, I gotta do some work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of good stuff, man. I think
a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and I mean, like I think the most important thing for me with items, just in generally speaking, regardless of rarity or whatever, is I gotta have something to chase.
Oh, God, you gotta need the chase, bro. The grind.
Yeah, it's like
that's what makes us gamers, dude.
Yeah, I gotta have that. If I'm playing COD, I gotta have that camo. If I'm playing Lotro, I gotta have, just like right now, I cannot get my 3-slot legendary bow to drop.
Man.
Can't do it.
You know what I like to know, Brian? I like to know people gave up trying to get this item, and I got it.
Yeah.
I like to know people were like, fuck this. I've done this 30 times. I can't get it. Bitch, do it another 870 times and then come to my fucking doorstep.
Like trying to get Ashes of LR and
aka BE par.
Right. Or Baron Rivendare's mount.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know how many times I ran that, and I don't want to know.
I would love to. I would love to know how many times you've ran it.
I don't know.
Shut up, headless horseman, bitch.
I did get that first drop. I did get that first run.
Mm-hmm.
There's a buddy at work, Nick. He literally, like, cause we were actually playing that in the break room, and we had a full group because we had 5 computers, and we did the Halloween event. Went in there, did it. He clocked back in from lunch a half an hour early. Went back to work. He was so pissed off.
Oh, I'd have never talked to you again if I saw you get it and you didn't give it to me. And I'm like, listen, I know you're never gonna play this fucking game again.
Well, that's not
true.
true.
I would have covered 1,000 shifts for you.
I'm that was back during Wrath or Kata.
Original Wrath.
Yeah, that was Wrath. So I got that, and I've played a lot since then. I played Pandaria, I played Cataclysm, I played.
I'm JK, baby.
Yeah, I think at this point I've probably played more retail than you because you've played. You've skipped.
Retail is bad. It's dog shit. Fucking awful. I had my homie buy. What's the new one? Dragon Flight, whatever. Is that really what it's called? Yeah. My homie bought it for me. And I played it for like a week. And goddamn, dude, I just couldn't. It's just bad. It's not fun. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I will give credit where credit is due. It looks phenomenal. It feels phenomenal. But like, especially if I was a new player and I just jumped into Dragonflight.
Yeah.
And it's like a millennia after all of this shit has all happened. Like, what the fuck? What's Swamp of Sorrows? Like, I don't. Where do you start?
Right.
Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Bro, I don't. Oh, I wouldn't be able to do it. I can't do it as a fucking tenured player that knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I've given up.
Given up. That's why we need one to start off freshy.
Buddy, you're telling me. They've taken well over. Do you know how many hours are in a year? Bludborn?
I don't off the top of my head.
Off the top of my head, it's 8,000 some change. Hold on, let me find out. It is 365 times 24. 8,760 hours. Do you know how many days I have played in World of Warcraft 10 years ago?
More than that.
More than that. So, I have well over 10,000 hours played into a game that I no longer care about.
Yeah. That's feels right there, man.
It do be hurting. And currently, I'm just playing bullshit games that I don't care about until a game that I hopefully care about comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm most excited because I get to play with you, buddy.
I know. It's been so long.
It's been one week since you looked at me. It's gonna be sick.
Yep. But hey, I think that's gonna do it for this one, bud.
Woo, woo, woo.
So if you were here in chat hanging out, I appreciate all you guys. Make sure you're hitting up all the social media links for both of us. You can find Train on Twitch and YouTube, both Trainsworth. And then there's all my links down there also.
You have 48 links. I have 2.
I need to yeah, well, you know, I do what I can with what I got.
I love it.
Cool. All right, buddy. Hang on while I finish this up and then we'll chat some more.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're out. Take it easy.
I'm gonna close out of this. You get me.
Yep. All right, later, nerds.